What if you could win at anything you tried? Game on! We'll head to America's first boardwalk to test the mettle of a champion sharpshooter and disarm this Carnival classic.
I think you owe me a big teddy bear.
Then it's on to Austin, Texas, where I have the ultimate strategy to put you over the top in arm wrestling. The winner! Next, we go to San Francisco, where a dazzling display will make you unbeatable at the foosball table.
She's obviously professional.
And we stop off in Philly, where I got a little something with pocket change that is totally on the money.
You are the man.
My name is Sal Piacente, and I know every con in the book. People hire me to show them how to spot a hustle. From coast to coast, I'll break down and reveal how to win at games, contests, and tricks. From the boardwalk to the carnival, I've got all the angles. Game on, America. We begin in Atlantic City. From the beaches to the casinos to the boardwalk, there is good reason this town is called America's Playground. But if you're looking for some midway fun and games, look no further than the Steel Pier, where it's always time to play. And one game that seems easy to beat but is downright difficult is the Boardwalk Classic, Shoot the Star.
Ready to shoot the star and win the prize?
Yeah.
The rules are simple. You get 100 shots. All you got to do is pull the trigger and make all of the red star disappear. Do that, and you win some of the best prizes, which should be your first sign that this game is one tough nut to crack. Here's the golden rule of the boardwalk. The bigger the prize, the tougher the game.
It's $5 for 100 shots.
All of these guys and gals got 100 shots.
Gotta be more accurate.
But none of them hit the mark.
Almost there.
Almost.
The game is shoot the star, the whole star. It says right there in print, all red must be shot out to win a prize. So let's bring in someone who's a little more qualified to fire a rifle and see how she does. Meet Team USA markswoman Sandy Fong. She's an Olympian and former world champion and can shoot the head off a dime at 50 meters. Out here in the wilds of the boardwalk, the target is less than 3 meters away. So for Sandy, this should be like shooting fish in a barrel.
Looks like we still have corners. Still that top corner.
And the bottom one. You missed
a lot.
Yep. Shoot the Star takes our Olympic sharpshooter down a notch. So what makes this game so tough that even a champion markswoman can't win? First, check out the gun. It's an air-powered, fully automatic BB rifle. Sandy, this bad boy has a pretty sensitive trigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to have a light touch.
Remember, you only get 100 shots, and this gun is set up to fire multiple rounds. So here's your first tip. Be light on the trigger and conserve your ammo. Another obstacle? They put the target on a string. Well, in the Olympics, you had a lot easier because the target was fixed. But out here, you're shooting a moving target.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more difficult. I mean, the target's moving after the first shot.
So here's your second tip, which will help with your accuracy. You gotta be patient and wait for the target to stop moving before firing. Speaking of accuracy, let's say you could shoot like Sandy and place all 100 shots perfectly on the red star. You still wouldn't win the game. Check it out. The surface area of the red star is greater than the collateral damage caused by the 100 BBs. The BBs splinter the paper, creating small fragments of red you now have to shoot out. And you don't have enough BBs to do that. In fact, you would need around 130 BBs fired perfectly to shoot out the star.
Oh, you missed one corner.
Yeah, couple corners.
It says right there that every bit of red must be shot out.
Close.
Yep.
So how do you win? Believe it or not, the only way to win is to miss. Sandy, rather than shooting at the star, what do you think about shooting a circle around the star?
You should knock the star out. That should definitely work.
That's the third and final tip. You have to shoot a circle around the star and make the star fall out. It's the only way to win. Now that she's armed with this information, it's game on for Sandy. Shooting a circle around the star only requires about 90 BBs for the average person, and you get 100 shots, which means you can miss 1 out of every 10 shots and still beat this game.
Got it.
And you got it all.
I think you owe me a big teddy bear.
All you gotta do is be light on the trigger, wait for the target to settle, and shoot a circle around the star. Do that, and you'll win the prize, just like Sandy.
Success!
Now it's on to Austin, Texas, capital of the Lone Star State. But with all the things this town has going for it, there's one thing it doesn't have. Austin is one of the largest cities in the country that doesn't have a big league pro sports team. Of course, Austin does have big-time college sports and is home to the collective of lady arm wrestlers, better known as Claw. 3, 2, 1, game on! Meet Jess Tannehill, better known as Pain Fonda. We're on her home turf, and she's the 2-time Austin arm wrestling champ. I brought the pain, and we're gonna give you the upper hand in arm wrestling. Here are the rules. You and your opponent lock hands, elbows on the table and feet on the floor. Then, let her rip. First one to pin their opponent's hand against the table is the winner. Okay. This gentleman didn't do too well, but I guarantee he'll take him down in a rematch after we show him the secret technique to a perfect takedown. It's game on in Austin, Texas, home of Spicy Barbecue, Live Blues, and the collective of lady arm wrestlers Claw. Here, me along with 2-time champ Jess Tannehill, a.k.a. Pain Fonda, are gonna try and turn this arm wrestling underdog into a winner. This gentleman didn't do too well, but I guarantee he'll take him down in a rematch. Now it's time for my first tip. You gotta use your entire body.
It starts from the bottom up. You want to get your right foot forward since you're wrestling here with your right arm.
Okay.
You want to feel grounded right there in your heels,
Okay.
soft bend in your knees, and you want to be from the top of your hip bone all the way to your shoulder to move as one.
Okay.
And then as you move, if I take you down, you follow that. Yep. Now use your core, pull it back up. Yes. Really great.
So as it turns out, the name of the game is a little deceiving. Arm wrestling actually uses a lot more than just your arm. If you're standing correctly and you pivot like this, turning with your arm, you're using your legs, core, and upper body, and therefore gaining leverage you can use to your advantage. You ready to do this? Geometry really isn't my thing, but I do have a 90-degree rule at the arm wrestling table.
This is the most important tip. In the last couple of years, I've known 5 people who've broken their arm doing this, and all of them were because they didn't have this proper form. You want to align from your wrist to your elbow to your shoulder.
Okay.
Perfect 90-degree angle. This is what's going to keep you from breaking your arm.
Okay.
If your arm is not at a 90-degree angle and you push against your opponent, you will end up putting a lot of outward pressure against the shoulder socket. Too much pressure, and that main bone in your arm will break. But if you're wrestling at a 90-degree angle, you're able to twist your shoulder with your arm. Now, once you're in the thick of the match, you gotta remember my next tip. This game is about pulling, not pushing. The biggest mistake most people make is trying to take their opponent's arm straight down to the table. Instead, come over the top and pull your opponent's arm towards you. That way, you're taking away all of their leverage. Before you were pushing.
Oh.
Exactly. So that's how that guy had you before, is he was pulling you closer into his body.
Okay.
The second that Sal says, game on, you want to get that wrist switch.
Okay.
Most
So
important.
that here, I'm pulling you in.
Okay.
Rather than just trying to push your arm down.
Okay.
Let's see you try it.
Okay.
Get that twist.
All right.
Relax.
All right.
There you go. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right.
Ready for that rematch?
Yeah.
Ready for victory?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. Ready for 'em? So remember, you need to use your entire body. Keep that arm at 90 degrees and pull your opponent towards you. This way, you'll be tops at the table. Game on! Next, we head to San Francisco, California. Since 1873, the people of this town have been using the cable car to get where they want to go. But the streets aren't the only place where old-time machinery rules. On Fisherman's Wharf is the Musée Mécanique. More than 100,000 visitors a year travel to this museum dedicated to the history of arcade games. And no collection would be complete without this European classic that's also hit it big on this side of the pond. I'm talking about Foosball, the game of skill and precision. Teams use 13 molded plastic athletes that strike from 4 rods with that unmistakable sound. The game is easy. The first one to score 10 goals wins. But if you want to hold your own at the arcade like me and my partner Liz can, listen up. I'm about to drop some foosball truth.
He looks like a ringer.
Okay, here we go.
These guys don't know it, but my partner, Liz Hill-Moore, is the best in the business. At 16, she was ranked #1 in the world.
She's obviously professional.
Yes.
So.
It's worse than that, buddy. She's captain of the U.S. women's foosball team and has won 3 world championships.
Did you want to play?
Oh, fine, I'm happy. This is where I am. Let's just end this and go home. Good game, guys.
Good job, partner.
That was fun, even though it wasn't exactly fair. So after taking these guys to school, it's time to give them a lesson. Number 1, if you spin, you ain't gonna win. Spinning is a clear sign you don't know what you're doing. You'll end up missing a lot, and it's not allowed in tournament play.
So instead of spinning like that, what you want to do is try to get a snap with your wrist. So you want to position your hand in a way to where you can lift up and then snap, like that.
So just like Liz, I always grip it and rip it when taking shots. And you should too. So how do you defend these wicked shots? You have to move your men in unison and work as a team. You need to be in the right place to block a shot. And that's not going to happen if both lines are moving in opposite directions. All that will do is create huge gaps in the middle for your opponent to score.
The basics of defense is always keeping one guy in front of the ball, no matter where it is, even if it's moving. Even if I'm moving the ball, you want to follow it with one guy, and the other one needs to track with your guy.
This guy?
Right. If I'm setting the ball up here, you know, you want to track with this ball. So even if I'm moving, you want to kind of stay in front of the ball, and you don't necessarily want to sit still. You can move around, but do it intentionally. Keep your men in front of the ball, move away for a moment. You know, you don't want to leave a hole too long because I'll find it.
Liz isn't joking. And now it's time for a lesson in goal scoring with 2 high percentage shots. The first is the pull shot.
The reason why it's called a pull shot is because when you set the ball up, you're pulling the ball and the rod towards your body. Slow motion would be like this. Okay, and then I'll do a fast one.
With this shot, Liz is pulling the rod and ball toward her body and then striking. The other high percentage shot that she uses is the exact opposite of this, the push shot. In that case, you are pushing the rod and ball away from your body and striking. But there is one other shot, a can't-miss secret weapon that will have you slamming that ball home every time. It's game on in San Francisco. Name a game, and I can show you how to take it down. Right now, me and U.S. Foosball team captain Liz Hill-Moore are about to show you a shot that will give you a serious edge at the foosball table.
This is called a rollover or snake because what you do is I'm rocking the ball back and forth, I'm pushing it and rolling my man over and hitting the ball.
But a key difference with this shot is that it's a wrist shot. Take a closer look at how Liz pulls this incredible shot off. She rocks it back and forth with her wrist and then pulls it for the shot. And boom, just like that, goal. There's one more tip, and I call this one the Sal Special. If your opponent scores on you, you get to put the ball back into play. and you need to make sure that ball stays in your possession. Here's a great legal way to do just that. When I put the ball in, you push on the opposite corner, and that'll ensure that the ball comes to your side. Well, now you guys got all the tips. Let's have a little rematch, see how you do.
All right.
No matter where you play this game, just remember, no spinning. Grip it and rip it. Move as a unit, set shots up with a push or a pull, and always use the Sal special to serve.
Good game, guys. Good game. All right,
Good job.
Next, we'll head to Las Vegas. People from all over come to this town looking for a sure thing. They ain't gonna find it in the casinos, but out here on the Strip, I got a sure thing where I can predict the correct order all the aces will come out of any deck. It's a little trick I call 4 aces.
We're in Vegas. Which one of you guys gamble?
This guy's number one gambler.
They're throwing you under the bus. Okay, all right. Give it one good shuffle. That was good. Okay, you ready? Name an ace. Clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds.
Club.
The first ace will be clubs. You need a fourth card probably, but it's coming to the top. But the first ace will be clubs, because you called it. There it is. I said fourth card. Give it another shuffle. Now what suit do you want?
Let's go to spade.
Spades? I'm going to say hearts. I'll bet your hearts comes out before spades. And I'll call where it's going to come out.
All right.
Probably the second card. You give it another shuffle. Now I'll bet your spades comes out before diamonds.
So, want to know how it's done? It just takes a little prep and knowing how shuffling really works. First, before the guys got here, I put the 4 aces on top of the deck in the order I wanted them in. The rest is just the magic of shuffling.
If I put these 4 aces on top and I tell you to give them a shuffle, notice I have in clubs, hearts, spades, diamond order. If you shuffle these cards, you're going to see that they're going to stay in that order. They might get dispersed, but they're still going to stay clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds.
All I have to do is make sure the deck is not shuffled more than 5 times. That's because after 5 shuffles, the cards would work their way through the deck and back to the top, which would mess up the order. And remember how I called out the exact position of some of the aces?
I'll bet your hearts comes out before spades, probably the second card.
Since I already knew the order of the cards, all I had to do was watch his shuffle carefully to spot the card's exact location. And now you have an easy game you can try out on your friends. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Now we head to Philadelphia, home to one of the biggest mints in the country. And the bar in this city is the perfect place to have a little fun with coins and currency. What's your name?
John.
John, Sal.
Sal,
Real
nice to meet
pleasure.
you.
I call this game Same Change. All it takes is 2 pockets full of change. His and mine. You play games?
What type of games?
A change game. Money game.
A money game?
No, not a hustle. Just a little game. You take out your change, and I'll take out my change.
Okay.
And I'll bet you I can match the amount of your change, cent to cent. Then, I'm gonna have enough change left over, so when I add it to your change, it'll equal exactly $1.85.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, let's see. It's game on in Philadelphia, where I'm playing the game using loose coins that I call Same Change. I'll take out my change, you take out your change.
Okay.
And I'll bet you I can match the amount of your change, cent to cent. Then, I'm gonna have enough change left over, so when I add it to your change, it'll equal exactly $1.85.
So, you're going to match my change with what's in your pocket.
That's number 1.
And then what's left over will be $1.85?
Yes.
That's
I'll bet you the change.
That's a shot in the dark.
Let's take a shot. Here's all my change.
All right, let's see what I
What
got
do you
here.
have?
72 cents.
72. Okay. 50, 60, 72. So I won that part.
Right.
And now I told you whatever I have left over, plus yours will be $1.85.
Correct.
So you have 72, 73, 74, 75, $1. $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, $1.85.
You are the man.
Just remember, I make the odds, and they're always in my favor. So how'd I pull off same change? It's easier than you think. And now I told you whatever I have left over, plus yours, will be $1.85.
Correct.
The big secret here is I know how much I got on me. 6 quarters, 1 dime, 4 nickels, and 5 pennies, equaling, you guessed it, $1.85. My hesitation is just part of the act and the fun. From there, it's simple algebra. X minus Y plus Y equals X again. I have $1.85, and he has 72 cents. 72. So I won that part.
Right.
So when I take away my 72 and add back his 72 to the remaining $1.13, of course it's going to still add up to $1.85. Even if he only had 35 cents, the outcome would be the same. Never fails. Watch. Excuse me, miss. So the next time you got a pocket full of change, know how much you got and have a little fun with same change. It works every time, including the next time. Game on, America. How much change do you have?